WrestleMania in New York was 2 weeks ago. TakeOver New York was 2 weeks ago. So it's about time we got the New York shows from NXT UK, isn't it? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Smash Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, with a little bit of a late April 17th NXT UK review. And it's always going to be funny for me when I say NXT UK from Brooklyn, if I say NXT UK from Chicago, if they do a show around SummerSlam, it's definitely going to be interesting for me to say NXT UK from Toronto. But they are, I can speak, I swear. This is the set of tapings that they did in Brooklyn around WrestleMania. So we get the weird pattern of it's not really NXT UK, it's NXT UK versus whoever else they could find, which would be fine if they weren't also doing the Worlds Collide series. I didn't realize that this week's episode of Worlds Collide happened on the 17th. I thought it was happening once again this Sunday. It's not, however. First match we get is the Coffey brothers, Joe and Mark Coffey, who are... They flip between being known as Gallus and being just known as the Coffey brothers because Wolfgang's nowhere to be seen. He comes out with them. You know, they do the weird high-five fist bump thing, and he fucks off. Going up against Raul Mendoza and Humberto Carrillo, and somebody on commentary says that this is sort of NXT UK versus NXT and 205 Live, which is really weird for me because I haven't seen Carrillo or Mendoza on NXT proper for quite a while, so I thought they were both on 205 Live now, but I guess I'm wrong. One of them is still part of NXT. Don't ask me which one because I've already forgotten. Mendoza and Mark Gallus Coffey start the match. Mark works the arm, working the wrist, doing the whole wrist finger thing. They make the obvious comparison to Pete Dunne, and we move on. Face plant by Mark, who grinds his face into the mat. Body shots by Joe, and a handspring elbow by Carrillo. I will say, the little guy, and I will say the little guys, but the little guys in this match do get some offense off, and it's good for what it is. This is a whole show full of, like, big guys versus small guys, or big guys versus just not as big guys, and it goes for the women's match too. We'll get there when we get there, but it is it's a bit of a theme that goes throughout the night, so watch out for that. Backbreaker by Joe. Orton stomps all over the ring by Mark. A face down full Nelson. I can read my writing, I promise. This is what you get from me when I do random videos on a Saturday. Butterfly helicopter overhead suplex by Joe was fucking brilliant. Oh yes, and it's funny because the crowd did the whoa thing that they do when Cesaro does the swing. But he basically gets him in the butterfly position for a suplex and swings him around a little bit before he throws him overhead. Really, really nice, really great. Amplification of the big guy, small guy story. Obviously, it's a power exhibition by him as well. Crossbody by Mendoza, step up enziguri and a dropkick. Tandem suicide dives by Mendoza and Carrillo are really nice. I think one of them goes for a second one and gets both of the members of Gallus. Again, names are escaping me at the moment. Carrillo hits a moonsault. Mendoza hits a 450 splash. There's a cheap shot by Joe. Enziguri by Mark. They hit the big lariat, which I think they call the best for the bells. Somebody correct me down in the box below. I know Nigel McGuinness tells us what it is all the time, but he also says it really fast because it must be really familiar to him. So I think that lariat that he does, that short arm lariat, is called the best for the bells. But if I'm not, somebody will correct me down in the box below. The Coffey brothers, i.e. 2/3 of Gallus, get the win in the opening contest. We have Cassius Ohno in the back, who I guess is part of NXT UK now, talking about how he came over to the UK to teach the UK wrestlers the UK style, which is very, very odd. And then he particularly zeroes in on Ligero, makes fun of Ligero for working hard, which is awkward. He goes through some story where Ligero worked somewhere in the morning and then worked somewhere in the middle of the day and worked somewhere at night. And he says, oh, you know, that's nice and all, but, you know, I work more for quality than quantity. And it's like, you really, really don't. The minute he hurts somebody, and I'm not saying he will, don't get me wrong, I'm sure he's got something to contribute in his own way, and technically I'm sure he's got a lot to offer, and there's stuff that other people could learn from him. Why are we beeping? Why is this a thing? I'm sure he's got a lot to offer. I just don't care about him in the ring, and the minute he hurts somebody, I'm going to call him the Nia Jax of NXT. which is bad and probably not as correct as I want it to be, but it's going to make me laugh, so yeah. We replay Walter's win over Pete Dunne. We see a couple of superstar reactions. The last 3 reactions that we see are Marcel Barthel, Fabian Eichner, and Jordan Devlin, who all basically try to act like they don't care, like, you know, like they're above it, like it doesn't really concern them. Now, this is the thing that WWE does, and they do the video packages really well, and when they really want to emphasize the impact of something, they get reactions from the other superstars. But there's a small part of me that says that doesn't make any sense, because as a wrestler, why are you concerned with anything other than getting your shot at that title, getting your shot at whatever title you're chasing at the time, getting your shot on the pay-per-view? Why do you care what a good match Walter and Pete Dunne had? Why are you not looking to face the winner? It's a little bit... It's where the heels obviously come off as being more logical than the baby faces, but the last one we hear from is Devlin, who really doesn't care. He even says, like, that's all I've been hearing all weekend, like, what the hell, like, it's Pete Dunne and Walter, but I couldn't care less. And then Walter steps into the frame, and they do the big, where they've zoomed in on the little guy, and they have to bring the camera up to show you how big Walter is. I'm guessing they're going to do Devlin versus Walter at some point, which I would be happy about. But it's really just going to be one of those, okay, this guy just won a title. Now with his title, he's got to go and beat a couple of people. And obviously that'll be on his way to the rematch with Pete Dunne that I think we're probably going to see. Because Pete Dunne did not get called up to the main roster as I was predicting he would in the Superstar Shakeup. As you guys know, I've got a video... sitting right here. I got notes aplenty over there. I'm going to be doing a video shortly on my thoughts on the call-ups and the shake-up and all that. Probably more positive than a lot of other people, but then I'm not a monetized YouTube channel that comes up here and gets paid to bitch, am I? Dave Mastiff, who's apparently been gone. I haven't even noticed, which is really, really bad, because I took that break reviewing NXT UK before WrestleMania. Taking on NXT's KONA, Don't Call Me The Rock Reeves. There's collar and elbow tie-up, and Reeves pushes him into the corner. So nice exhibition of strength by Reeves, because he comes in as the smaller guy. He's got to establish that he does have some power of his own. Nice collar and elbow tie-up once again, and Mastiff grinds him against the ropes. And it's a really cool way that he does it, because you figure a collar and elbow tie pushes him up against the ropes to get him somewhere else, to get him, you know, either down to the ground or get him into an Irish or whatever. But he doesn't. He just... for anybody that's been in a wrestling ring, and I've had the chance to step inside the wrestling ring a couple times at the Destiny shows that I've been to, which is awesome, and the ropes don't have nearly as much flex as it looks like they do on TV. So to have him just hold him up against the ropes and sort of grind him against the ropes is a really cool thing. Reeves tries for a back suplex, which is laughable. He fails, and he gets front suplexed by Mastiff and then hit by a huge back body drop. And at this point... I think it's Nigel McGuinness on commentary that refers to Dave Mastiff as a very powerful fire hydrant. Make of that what you will. Abdominal stretch by Mastiff on the ground, follows by elbows to the neck. Running boot by Reeves and a straightjacket choke. The straightjacket choke by Reeves was really, really good, because, you know, obviously the straightjacket choke, you're choking the person with their own arms, hence the straightjacket element of it. And when you got a guy like Dave Mastiff, who's got huge fucking arms, his own... at least the visual effect of it is that his own arms are working against him at that point. Snapmare by Mastiff and a running crossbody. German suplex by Mastiff, and the cannonball gets the win. This is what we say about NXT. I mean, you go into this and you think, you know, Dave Mastiff, KONA Reeves, it's going to be a squash. And it realistically was, but it's a squash that doesn't make the squashed person look squashed, if that makes any sense at all. The same thing with Gallus and Mendoza Carrillo in the first match. Those guys went in, you knew they were going to lose. Like, you just, like, if you know anything about wrestling, you know those guys are going to lose, or they're going to pull out the fluke, which happens sometimes. But they don't look any worse for the wear. They got a couple of spots in on the Gallus guys where the whole audience could go just, wow, how'd they get that done on that much bigger guy? And it was the same thing here with KONA Reeves. I made fun of KONA Reeves. Like, the guy's able in the ring. But let's not pretend that he's not trying to be circa Hollywood Rock. I mean, that's just a thing. It's just a thing that's happening. We get a backstage segment with Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. Say they're going to fight Mustache Mountain. We find out later on that this match is going to happen next week. They're going to face Mustache Mountain. They show Mustache Mountain a whole lot of respect in how they set the groundwork for guys like them to come along. But it's not all going to be respect. We're looking to plant our own flag, be our own element within the tag team division. And they say they want to be the first Welsh tag team champions in WWE, which is all kinds of good. Then we get another crossover match, NXT versus NXT UK, when it's KACY CATANZARO versus RHEA RIPLEY. And let me just say, Jesus Christ, the size difference between the two of these women is absolutely, it's almost comical. Because KACY CATANZARO, who we know is amazing from the little bit that we've seen of her so far, is about the size of RHEA RIPLEY's arm. This did everything for both women that it needed to do. KACY CATANZARO needed to go in there and be, you know, the plucky underdog. She needed to get sympathy immediately. She needed to be able to ragdoll immediately. She needed to be able to get in some believable hope spots. And RHEA RIPLEY just needed to go in there and destroy this person half her size and look like she's enjoying destroying this person that's half her size. And that's everything that happened. Lots and lots of evasion from KACY to start. She's got all that gymnastics, the American Ninja Warrior that I've never watched, but clearly it's happening here. Top rope handstand into a head scissor by KACY, a takedown by the hair by Ripley, and some mounted punches. She throws KACY into the turnbuckle. Now, normally when I say, okay, they hit him with a snake eyes, they lift him up, they drop him face first on the turnbuckle, they hit their face, whatever. Or you throw them really hard, it's a hard Irish whip, they bounce out, they fall dramatically, whatever. No, RHEA RIPLEY had her by the back of the head and threw her head into the turnbuckle, and it was great. RHEA RIPLEY did it great, KACY CATANZARO sold it great. It was a great little thing. It looked like she was going to destroy her face, which is what you want. Clubs to the back by Ripley and a stalling vertical suplex. Now, on the one hand, stalling vertical suplex is impressive. On the other hand, stalling vertical suplex lets you know just how tiny CATANZARO really, really is. Neck crank armbar combination by Ripley. Double boots by KACY with a roll-up attempt. The roll-up attempt is comical because of the size difference, etc. Quickly into the riptide, where you basically think KACY CATANZARO is going to be driven right through the damn mat. RHEA RIPLEY gets the win, hits her with a little bit of a post-match beatdown, and the last thing you see is KACY CATANZARO stuck in that standing figure four. And with the ease that Ripley's able to lift her up with that type of maneuver, because, again, she's so tiny, it's just absolutely not terrifying for the audience per se, because you're not looking at it as a huge spot where, oh my god, I hope nobody's getting hurt. But if you look at it from CATANZARO's perspective, how fucking terrifying is that? I could just throw her into the fifth row type of deal. After a commercial break, we see RHEA RIPLEY talking some shit about her in the medical area. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm the best. Rah, rah, rah. You know, next time you want to step into my arena. Next time you want to step into my division. And then you see her stop mid-sentence. And very predictably, on the other side of the medical bed is Piper Niven. And that is a feud that they are building. That is a feud that I hope they hold over until the next UK takeover. But I don't think it's going to happen. I haven't read the spoilers. If you guys have, then you know more than I do, don't you? RHEA RIPLEY is fucking amazing. RHEA RIPLEY, I don't care. I don't care how controversial this statement is. RHEA RIPLEY is your next China if you use her properly. Moving on, everybody thought it was Awesome Kong, and then everybody thought it was Beth Phoenix. Your next China, if you do it properly, is RHEA RIPLEY. And she's another one, honestly, that I could have seen coming up to the main roster. We haven't had a call-up yet from NXT UK. I mean, NXT is a brand new brand, it's fine. We're acknowledging proper call-ups from 205 Live now, which is great, because you've got Buddy Murphy, you've got no longer Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander. We're acknowledging 205 Live as part of that Superstar Shake-Up Draft call-up scenario. I think by next year, or by the time we get to August, when they do the Fox deal for SmackDown, I think if they do another draft, then that's where you will acknowledge NXT UK as the fifth brand and start bringing people up from there as well. Look at Pete Dunne, look at RHEA RIPLEY. I saw people, and it was really, really creepy, and if you Google it, you'll find it. Here's your next call-up for main roster WWE, and it's RHEA RIPLEY with Pete Dunne's face. It'll haunt your nightmares. I'm just telling you. Our main event is the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan. Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan are two guys that I always forget are there, but as soon as you remember that they're there, they're great. Kenny Williams has that the Luckian moniker to him, where just, you know, he wins all the time because he's lucky apparently. And Amir Jordan, it's a little cliche, but you have a foreign sort of Indian type character who comes in and does a little bit of dancing, which I'm sure is problematic for some people, but it's a lot of fun. He looks like he's having a lot of fun, etc. Side note on all that, and it has nothing to do with NXT UK, but has anybody seen online where the Singh brothers have actually been in tag team matches again? That's an interesting thing. They actually competed in the Cruiserweight, was it the Cruiserweight Classic or was it on 205 Live for a little bit? They competed separately and then they competed as a tag team for a little bit before they got partnered with Jinder Mahal. So if they're going to come back as a proper tag team, maybe break away from Jinder Mahal and go back to being the Bollywood Boys, that would be a fun thing, I think. Let me know what you think down in the box below. That has nothing to do with this show whatsoever, other than the fact that Amir Jordan dancing sort of reminded me of that. Gibson and Jordan started the match. There's an armbar takedown by Gibson. Gibson works the arm and the wrist and the fingers, and we get the comparison to Pete Dunne once again, because we're going to hear it from Pete Dunne at the end of the night. Arm drag by Jordan and right hands by Drake. A trip by Jordan, an ankle lock and a monkey flip. Chops by Williams, and Williams and Gibson do a collar and elbow tie-up thing, and it sort of becomes a bit of a stalemate. Bulldog against the turnbuckle by Williams. Headlock by Gibson. Poetry in motion by the grizzled young veterans. Made me smile a whole bunch, and if you've been watching this channel for a long time, that won't surprise you in the slightest. Back elbow by Drake, backbreaker by Gibson. Gibson, I can't read my own writing. Gibson drops Williams on the rail on the outside. There's a short lariat by Gibson, a cobra clutch and a forearm by Drake, a snap vertical suplex by Drake, who rides a headlock to follow, jawbreaker by Williams, a boot and a backbreaker by Drake. Drake and Jordan trade some punches. There's a crossbody by Jordan to break all of that up. A rolling neckbreaker by Jordan and uppercuts by Williams. A swanton Bombay, because apparently that's what they're calling it, by Jordan. We're not using stereotypes at all here, are we? Gibson pulls Drake out of the ring. They both go for a walk. Drake wants to go back and finish the match because he's all riled up and he wants to fight. Gibson does what he's been doing the whole match, and I haven't really mentioned it yet, is he keeps screaming at him, this doesn't matter, it's just an exhibition. And every time throughout the match that they said that, it gave Williams and Jordan a bit of a boost, a little bit of a, hey, you know, we're here to fight. We're the real thing. This isn't just an exhibition for us. It was a great little story that they told throughout the match that I didn't really touch on, so that's my bad. But he's pulling him up the ramp. He's pulling him up the ramp. This is just an exhibition. This is just an exhibition. Williams and Jordan are both waiting in the ring like, what the fuck, guys? And they get the win by countout. Now, there's a cool thing here because it's a dick move by Gibson and Drake. They got in there, they got their licks in, and then they buzzed off like assholes, because it meant we really didn't have an end to the main event. But it also continues the apparent undefeated streak of Williams and Jordan. Again, I have to lean back on the fact that I didn't watch a whole lot of UK leading up to WrestleMania, but are these guys on a winning streak? Like, that could be cool. And they're just fun enough. They do what New Day struggles to do sometimes, where they balance how fun they are with how crackerjack they are in the ring. Not saying that New Day aren't great in the ring, don't get at me in the comment sections. But yeah, if these guys are on a genuine and what's the word I'm looking for? An organic swell, an organic set of good luck for the Luckian. This could be something they develop down the line. You know, they got a shot at the champions on foreign soil, which I guess US is for them. They got a shot, they got screwed, they go back, they get a couple more wins over a couple more teams, and then they come back at it again. I can see a very organic swell coming behind them, not like a 2-month thrown together story based on bullshit like we got with Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan. This is how you do it organically. They got fucked, they go back, they grind some more. They got fucked, they go back and grind some more. And then eventually, again, if you built this properly, it's much like the Piper Niven Rhea Ripley thing. Save the real moment for the next UK takeover, whenever that's going to be. But well, we had to close out the show, and this is kind of weird because it's pre-taped and it's in America, and it was probably done at Access before takeover. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me down in the box below. So this is all a pre-taped. I want to say it's an interview, but it's really more of a monologue by Pete Dunne, interspersed with a bit of with a bit of video packaging from TakeOver and from his career and all that sort of thing. But basically the high points are, I've carried that title for 685 days. I built the NXT UK brand from the ground up. I was the champion before there was a brand. Basically, I won't leave that title behind just because I lost once. That title is an extension of myself. People remember me as the 685-day champion, but they don't remember how I was while I was chasing that title. I've experienced every single angle of WWE. I've mastered NXT. I've been to NXT TakeOver. I've participated in the Royal Rumble. I've even shown up on Raw. Walter gave me the fight of my life. Now I know what to expect. Now I know how to beat him. And then he sort of goes from answering the interviewer's questions to sort of staring into the camera like he's talking right to Walter. He's like, I built a platform for you to stand on. I gave you an opportunity. Now give me my rematch. It was a great, for a pre-taped promo on a pre-taped show. This was about as genuine as you could get. And I mean, I've ranted and raved here for a while about what a fan I am of Pete Dunne and how I think he could do so well on a bigger stage. But if he goes out and he has one more crackerjack match with Walter to really solidify Walter as the new guy on that brand, get him up, because you don't want Pete Dunne playing second fiddle anywhere he is. And if he stays on NXT UK and he's not the champion, then he's fighting with a couple of other people for spot number 2, and you don't want that. I just saw him drop the Destiny title. I just saw him drop the NXT UK title. Put him somewhere, give him a title. Put him in there with friggin' Finn Balor on SmackDown. Have them fight over the IC title. How fucking good would that be? That's all I really got to say. Sorry this is a bit late, guys, but you know, as I've said a bunch of times, real life gets in the way sometimes, and it is the UK reviews that are going to fall to the wayside when that happens. Anytime. This was a really good show. I know it was really weird. You had a lot of like brand versus brand stuff. You didn't tell a whole lot of specifically NXT UK stories, but that's kind of okay. That's kind of how their shows, when they come and tape across the pond, go. It sort of becomes mini versions of Worlds Collide rather than pushing through their own stories. As long as they get back to their own stories eventually, I think we'll be okay. Anyways, I'm losing my voice, as you can probably tell. That's all I've got for now. Anyway, I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am tagging out. Bye, guys.
Freak like me, don't apologize.